I'm only 7 chapters into Crown of Midnight, but I wanted to come on to say a couple of thoughts that I had already. First of all, I'm very surprised at the fact that Celaena is fake killing the people she's supposed to kill. For some reason, I just assumed she would do it because, you know, she's an assassin and she's probably used to it, but it kind of like shows a softer side to her, which I do want to discuss later on. I don't want to fall off track at the moment. Another thing that I wasn't expecting is how traumatized Chaol is by the fact that he killed Cain. For some reason, I just didn't think it would be a big deal for him as captain of the guards, and like his sense of responsibility and everything. I thought it was like, okay, well, I'm killing somebody who was endangering like the king's champion. But it's kind of interesting to see that he has like a soft side, and it just like wasn't expected. However, that does come into play when he's kind of judging Celaena for what she has to do, but like that's who she is, that's her job. Like, what do you expect? Obviously she's gonna be killing people. It's her literal, like, it's in her contract. Based on things that I've seen, that I know, I was also surprised that Celaena is not interested in the rebellion. Like, Nehemia keeps trying to like point at it, just like mentioning it, and Celaena's just like, I just want these 4 years to be over. I just want to go live alone. I want to go live in peace. So I'm really excited to see how it goes, and like I'm really excited to see how her personality is going to shift when she goes from Celaena to Aelin. I'm very excited. Oh, and I'm assuming this Roland person is probably going to be trouble. I just met Mort. Mort laughing when she introduces herself as Celaena is probably like a hint and foreshadowing that her name is actually not Celaena, and he knows that, so he's just like laughing because he thinks it's so silly. Aelin's name just appeared for the first time. Not gonna lie, I got a little bit teary-eyed just because like I know everything that's about to unleash itself. I don't know when, honestly. I don't really know when it's gonna happen, but it's just knowing the adventure that she's in for. And it's like the first time her name is being said. And I think I got emotional because, as I said in my last video, it is one of my favorite tropes, the whole lost princess, and she's just like writing it so well. Miss Sarah J. Maas really couldn't leave anything for us pleb writers, could she? She just got poisoned. I'm a little bit behind on my reading updates because yesterday I went kind of crazy and I read like pretty much all of the book. I only have 100 pages left right now, so I'm going to try to summarize all of the emotions that I felt yesterday. First of all, the scene where Celaena gets poisoned when she kills Davis, that was one of my favorite scenes in everything that I've read up till now, just because of the way that Chaol reacted when she came back. I'm a sucker for scenes where the guy loses his mind because he's so worried. The way he was just like searching through her dress just to find where the wound was. Yeah, I love that. I love that so much. I have a tendency to kind of skim books as I'm reading, and sometimes that leads me to seeing spoilers. So what I saw was about Nehemia's death, which I already knew, so it wasn't really a spoiler. I already knew she dies. I just didn't know when or how. And then I saw that Chaol throws Celaena into the dungeon. So I was so mad. I was like so ready to hate on Chaol. I was so determined and so prepared to rage. I thought that he was like completely betraying her. He was throwing her in the dungeon because of the king's order. I was just like really mad without knowing the context of anything. But before we get to that, I'm excited about Dorian's powers, even though I'm really scared because I do know that's probably going to be a cause of him being in trouble. I know he has like this collar thing on his neck later on. I'm really scared. I don't want my baby to be tortured. I'm assuming his dad does it. I already hate his dad so much. Ugh, can't wait for him to die. Popular opinion, but as sad as I am now that Nehemia was killed, the way that she was killed was awful too. I wasn't a big fan of her. For some reason, she just never appealed to me. Like, okay, she was a good friend, but she was also really pushy. And the part where she was like, I don't even know why we're friends if you're not willing to like start a rebellion and whatever, that really upset me because who are you to like try to dictate Celaena's life? I'm assuming Nehemia kind of knows who she is and like that's why she's trying to be pushy, but she just comes off as a bad friend, and I don't know. She's not like a favorite character to me. I'm still upset that she passed away, especially that the last words that Celaena told Nehemia was just like a big fight. So that's upsetting. Scene where the king executes the singer was really upsetting to me. I think that's something that's interesting about the whole third person point of view, is because Sarah J Maas doesn't only do like third person for like the main characters. She also does these random scenes where you kind of see like the nobodies, and I think that really adds to the emotion of the book. And the scene where there was like the slave girl in the mines after learning that Nehemia passed away. I was reading the scene about Celaena's escape of, well, her attempted escape of the mines. I cried. I don't know why. That just made me really sad, because it's just like the desperation she must have felt and the way that she was so desperate to be killed because her life is just miserable. I'm enjoying this a lot more than the first book. I'm like really hooked right now. I don't hate Chaol as much as I thought I would. Once I read the whole dungeon scene and like why he did it and the guilt that he felt, and like he got her out. He just like put her in the dungeon until she calms down. So initially I thought he was doing it to betray her, but really it wasn't really for that. Less mad, I came down my little rage moment. He has his flaws, but I feel like I can see him being redeemed in my eyes, just because I don't passionately hate him at the moment. I kind of feel sorry for him. I'm just so excited for her to freaking like bring Aelin out. I want to see like the difference in their personalities. I really wonder if I'm going to like Celaena more or Aelin more. I am not looking forward to reading about the Assassin's Blade, like, well, Sam's death and basically the scene where she gets captured, because whenever she talks about that, I get so upset. I'm also so sad for Kaltain, Lady Kaltain. She has to marry Duke Parrington, or else she has to stay in the dungeons, and this book is just so depressing. I understand how people say that Throne of Glass brought them out of depression. It's like bringing me into depression. I literally had dreams about this last night. I was dreaming about Throne of Glass, but like not happy dreams. It was sad dreams. It's like consuming my mind in like such a dark way, but at the same time in a really nice way, because even when I'm not reading, I feel like my brain is stuck in the world. I'm just like daydreaming about it.
So I just discovered that I've still been saying her name wrong. It's Celaena and not Celaena, and now I'm really annoyed. I really hate her name. Can we just call her Aelin at this point? Couldn't pick like a harder name to say. What is this? What is this? Crown of Midnight about 2 days ago, but I needed some time to process it because it emotionally wrecked me. I don't know what it was about that ending or that book, but I finished it like around 1 a.m. and I was absolutely devastated. I cried and I kept crying, and I was just like so emotionally drained. I really don't hate Chaol. I really don't. I don't understand why people hate him. I don't know if anything happens in like Heir of Fire or later on in the books, but if people hate him based on Crown of Midnight, then I don't get it. At the end of the day, what he did was to protect her, like sending her away to the other kingdom.
So I've come back to my little spot. I think you guys are going to be seeing this spot a lot in my YouTube vlog. But just to finish up what I was saying, I really enjoyed Crown of Midnight. What really got to me wasn't Nehemia's death or other scenes per se. It was really the scene where she was saying goodbye to Dorian and Chaol, and the part where, you know, she whispers in Chaol's ear like a hint to her identity, and then like the way that it ends. I didn't know that Maeve was Aelin's aunt, which makes things way worse, by the way. I am so embarrassed because I was so convinced that Aelin had amnesia, but in reality it was just like she was suppressing her identity, which is what I thought from the beginning. That's exactly what I thought before reading the series. I thought that she knew who she was, but she didn't necessarily want to come out with it. She was waiting for the right time, or not necessarily waiting, but you know, happened when it happened, and that's what I thought. But then Sarah J Maas had to confuse me and make me think that it was amnesia when it wasn't. All that to say, I was originally right, so technically I'm not a fool, but she made me into a fool. I already started a little bit of Assassin's Blade, and I'm already with the slaves and everything. It's just, I think I'm gonna be taking it slow. I need to just like clear my mind a little bit. I already read the last page of Heir of Fire and it got me hyped. I'm very excited. I think I would rate Crown of Midnight like an 8 on 10. Maybe an 8.5. I really enjoyed it. I'm just surprised because everybody says that the first and second book are boring. The first I can kind of agree, but it's because you're world building. You're building up to these characters. You're learning about these characters. So obviously, I feel like the first book of every series is generally boring. with exception to ACOTAR. I personally love the first book of ACOTAR, but that's not the point of this video. Another moment that was just insane to me was when she went into the other world and her powers came back and she turned into a fae. Oh my god, I lost my mind. Before I end this video, I do want to talk about Chaol because yes, he made mistakes. Yes, he didn't tell Celaena about Nehemia's threat and all that, but he is loyal to the crown, first and foremost. And yet, throughout the book, we still see that he's willing to lose his life for her. He doesn't always go about it in the right way, and obviously when she turned into a fae and he was kind of disgusted by it, that was a little bit of a red flag, but even so, afterwards, he told her, fae or not, I would have loved you. Like, obviously he doesn't say the words because she stops him, but all that to say, he really truly did love Celaena. I definitely have a soft spot for him. Make sure you subscribe to keep getting updated and follow me on my other social media accounts. Bye! I'm so sad because I saw an artwork from Kingdom of Ash. Like, I know Aelin, Maeve puts the mask on her face, but the artwork was like her in a coffin, chained up, and like I feel like puking because that is so upsetting and so fucking sad, and I haven't even gotten to that part yet. This series is too sad. Like, people don't get it when I tell them I don't like sad books. Like, I really don't. It freaking traumatizes me and I'm gonna dream about it. Like, I don't want to read the books anymore. Like, I'm still gonna read them, but and then like I went on Google and I was like, what does Maeve do to Aelin? And then like I saw the whole torture thing.